Hi guys, it's Laura and today I'm going to be doing my January wrap up and February TBR. I read 5 books in total in January and I'm quite proud of that. I mean, I'm 7% into my goal, so you know. So the first 2 books that I actually read this month even, or this year, both either way, were rereads, and that was All Fall Down by Ellie Carter and See How They Run by Ellie Carter. And that's because the third book in the trilogy has come out and I wanted to recap, and I gave both of these books 5 stars again because they are absolutely amazing. I am not bored at all and I just love them so much. It's a story about a girl called Grace who goes to live with her granddad in a city called Agia, however you say it, and basically she is convinced that her mother didn't die in an accident, and basically this is just about her like trying to prove that it was an accident, and this is her dealing with whatever happens in this one. Of course I can't say because it's spoilers, but yeah, I absolutely adore these books. I would recommend them, but yeah. The third book I read this month was Caroline Going Solo by Zoe Sugg. I gave this 2 stars out of 5 because I generally felt like it was pointless. There was no real need for it, and I just felt like the story was dragging and just stuff was happening that was just like, oh yeah, okay, wow, I don't care. No offense to anyone who did like it, but I just really was, I don't know, I just was like so annoyed because I didn't love the first 2, but I thought the last one ended really well, the second one even, and then this came along and I was like, yeah, okay, there's no real purpose, so yeah. Fourth book I read this month was actually a short story. It is the short story that is at the end of the sixth Gallagher Girl United We Spy, and it's called The Gallagher Wedding. And I read that because basically I was reading a book called The Girl with No Name and I wasn't fully into it, and I didn't want to read one night because I was tired and I just couldn't be bothered, but I didn't want to break my resolution of reading every single night, so I read that instead, and it counts as a book on Goodreads, so I am counting it as a book. The final book that I read this month was Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, and oh my god, I absolutely adore this book so much. Oh, like, I finished this last night and I really cannot wait to carry on with this series because it's so good, and it's basically based off of all of the Lunar Chronicles based off fairy tales. The first one was based off Cinderella, this one was based off Little Red Riding Hood, the Cress is based off Rapunzel, and Winter is based off Snow White. And this basically tells the story of Scarlet, and her grandmother has gone missing, and she basically meets Wolf, who is like a fighter that she meets in town, but she doesn't really trust him, and he basically helps her try and find her grandmother, and a bunch of stuff happens. Also, whilst Cinder's story from the previous book continues into this one, and it all connects, and it's absolutely fantastic, and I generally am so excited to be able to read the third one, whenever that may be. So now on to my TBR for February. The first book I plan to read, which I'm going to start today, I am super excited for it, and yes, it is Take the Key and Lock Her Up by Ellie Carter. I am over the moon that I finally got this book, and I am over the moon that I'm able to start it because I have waited over a year, so I deserve it. Again, this is the last book in the trilogy, and it basically is going to answer all my unknown questions, and I am so excited for that. I need to know what happens, I need the questions to be answered, I need the plot twist to end, and all the cliffhanger to end even. I'm just really bad with my words today, aren't I? So yeah, I cannot wait to start this book tonight. It's generally what I've been waiting for a whole year. The second book I plan to read in February is Clockwork Angel. I would get it out of this like lovely little box thing that I've got it in, but I attempted and it failed miserably, so I don't want to go through the effort and fail to put it back, so yeah. Clockwork Angel is the first one in the Invented Devices series by Cassandra Clare. I have been waiting for this since I finished the Mortal Instruments series, but I was told to kind of put it off a bit so you could spread the whole books out. So I decided to wait till Christmas. I got them for Christmas, and I am now going to read the first one, and I cannot wait. Like, I am super excited to go back into the Charlotte world and finally meet Will and Jem, because apparently they are big people, like very famous, like in this world, and everybody loves them, and I want to know why. Third book I'm going to read this month is Air of Fire by Sarah J Maas, the third book in the Throne of Glass series. I started this before, back in like November. I read the first chapter, but because I was reading Jane Eyre at the same time, I couldn't really concentrate, so I literally decided to put it off until I finished Jane Eyre, and that of course didn't happen until the end of December. So yeah, and I don't know, I just didn't get around to it this month, so I am super excited to be able to read it and continue with this series, which is amazing. I want to know what's going to happen to Selena now that something else has been exposed, I guess. That is not the word I was looking for, but it's a word I'm going to say. So yeah, and I just want to know what's going to happen with everything, and yeah. The next book I plan to read, I don't know which order I'm going to read these two in, but yeah, I'm going to read Stealing Snow by Daniel Page. I was recommended this when I went to buy Scarlet in my my Waterstones, the closest Waterstones I have, and they said, oh, if you like that series, you'll probably like this book. And it was newly out then. I bought this back in like October, so I finally am going to read it. The cover is beautiful, just like that little thing there. But basically, as far as I'm aware, it's a retelling of Snow White. I don't know much more than that, but you know, it's had quite a lot of like good reviews, so hopefully I will like it. I mean, it does sound pretty interesting. In a frozen world, the Queen will rise. I mean, can't get much better than that. And the final book I plan to read this month is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Roche. I don't know how to say that name, but yeah, I found out about this book by BookTube and it sounded really interesting. What I know of it, it's basically about the Kingdom of Winter was like defeated and its citizens enslaved, and there was like 8 refugees, I believe, 8 survivors who managed to escape, and they basically lost all like of its magic and monarchs. And it's basically a girl called Miera who's basically lived her whole life as a refugee, and I think it's her and her best friend, who is the future king, basically try to rebuild the Kingdom of Winter or something like that, or fight for it or something like that. Yeah, Winter rise to power again. There we go. So it sounds really interesting, plus the cover is really pretty, which is always a bonus, so I am super eager to read this. I cannot wait, and hopefully I will be able to buy the rest of the trilogy, I believe it is, soon. So that is all for my January wrap up and my February TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you did, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye guys!